Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a product showcase of the Insta360 X4. Now, you guys know that over the past bunch of years, I've been using a ton of 360 cameras as well as action cameras from Insta360. Whether I throw it in my hot shoe at a sporting event or I'm traveling around the world in Africa, I always have one or more of these cameras with me because I love being able to document what I see, and with the 360 cameras, being able to reframe it after the fact so that I can get the best angles possible. So what did I shoot this time around with the Insta360 X4? Well, I threw it in a hot shoe of my friend's camera where he was shooting soccer out on the field. He could get up there close and personal with the players. I took it to a baseball game. I also threw it on my bike with an Insta360 accessory, took it out to the skate park, went around Philly to see the Liberty Bell as well as Independence Hall, and of course, we took it skydiving. Now, I didn't jump out of the plane, but I did throw it on a skydiver, and they jumped out of the plane to get us some awesome footage. Now, in terms of the look of the X4, it's very similar to the X3, but it now has a more rugged feel, newer rubber coating, as well as a 2.5-inch upgraded LCD touchscreen. Now, I will say that the screen is really easy to use even in bright daylight, and also their menu systems are super smart and intuitive so that you can just swipe around and you know exactly what you're doing, even if it's the first time you're picking up the camera. Now, of course, this is a 360 camera because you have lenses on both sides, but you do have a single lens option to basically give yourself an action camera as well as the 360 camera. So that is basically having two cameras in one. Now, one of the biggest upgrades from the X3 to the X4 is you now get a resolution bump up to 8K at 30 frames per second. 5.7K got a frame rate boost now up to 60 frames per second, and 4K you can now do up to 100 frames per second. Now, for those of you who like to do photos of yourself, they have me mode. Look at me, which has been upgraded to 2.7K at 120 frames per second. Insta360 has an accessory that you can purchase that allows you to do up to 5.7K bullet time up to 120 frames per second. Like many of Insta360's recent products, they've updated gesture mode. So if you don't want to just press the button, or you put the camera in a place where you can't reach the record button, you can simply raise your palm like this to start, and then you can raise it again to stop. One of the coolest features inside of the X4 is flow state stabilization. Basically, it takes anything that you're doing that might be super jittery or shaky, and it makes it super smooth and still, thus giving you great stable footage. The X4 also has horizon lock, which came in handy when the skydiver was jumping out of the airplane, because we can lock the horizon in as he was falling through the sky, which gives you some great footage. Now, you might be wondering, if you put this on a selfie stick, and being that it's a 360 camera, isn't the selfie stick gonna show up in the video? Well, no, because they have technology that uses an invisible selfie stick. It basically erases the selfie stick so you don't see it in your videos. Now, when you take your X4 out of the box, you will see that you have lens guards. These are all new and easy to take off and put on to your X4. One of the reasons you would use lens guards is, say, if you're shooting a paintball match and you don't want to take a paintball right to your lens or something that might scratch your lens, you can put the lens guards on there, or you could just take them off and shoot naturally. But if you are going to put it into a dive case, it's much easier to take those lens guards off now than it was in the past. Now, what good is a 360 camera if the battery life isn't any good? Well, the battery life has been upgraded here. You now have a 2290 milliamp battery, which gives you 135 minutes and 5.7K 30 frames a second, which is 67% more than you got with the X3. You also get 75 minutes in 8K 30. That is a lot of battery life you have, and you can also charge on the go, or you can pop in a new battery that you have waiting to go when you run out of juice. Speaking of plugging things in, you now have USB 3.0 for faster transfer speeds, but you also have faster Wi-Fi transfer speeds up to 58% faster than before. Now, enough talking about all the specs. Check out this montage of video that I captured with the X4 out in the real world. I think we were able to get some awesome stuff in the real world with the X4. But what about the mobile app? Well, the mobile app is AI powered for mobile editing. It's really seamless and easy to use. You even have a new quick edit option where you hold your phone up or your iPad and you can take a look at your footage, and depending on where you're looking, you can reframe and resave the video, which is going to save you a ton of time when you're editing. Speaking of saving time, if you use Premiere Pro for editing, you now have an Insta360 plugin to allow you to edit your 360 footage, which is going to save you a ton of time. If you've used 360 cameras in the past, you know that you end up with two video files, one from the front camera, one from the back camera. Well, Insta360 has done away with that. You now get just one file for each 360 video that you capture. Now, I know when you think of 8K, you think of giant file sizes that are hard to work with. Well, you are able to save an H.265 here, so you get high quality in a smaller file size, but it also doesn't tax your system as long as it's a newer system. I'm not talking about some 1920s system that you're trying to edit in. We didn't have any problem editing the 8K footage. So who is this camera for? Honestly, I think it's for someone like me, a content creator, a photographer, someone who travels and likes to do things that may be action-oriented or just going around the world. You can throw this in the hot shoe when you're shooting a wedding and get extra content that you can give the client, the bride and the groom. That's gonna go a long way. Just think about all of the things you do as a photographer and a creator that gives you more content that you can share with the world to help you get more jobs, or at the very least, just document your life in 360 where you can shoot it now and reframe it later. So what does the X4 cost? It costs $499, which is in line with a lot of other action cameras out there, but those action cameras don't give you 360. Remember, this is 2-in-1. You get your 360, but you could also use the single lens option. Now, if you think this X4 is for you, we have affiliate links down below in the description that will take you over to Insta360 so that you can pick one up right now and start capturing 360 footage. Thank you guys very much for watching. Jared, Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.